Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Message, a Chinese spy thriller from 2009 that stars Zhou Xun, Bingbing and Zhang Hanyu. So April 26th, 1940, former Nationalist Vice President Wang Jingwei made peace with Japan and set up a Japanese-supported regime during World War II, a puppet government in Nanking. On October 10th, during an anniversary ceremony of the government, a Wang government high official is assassinated, the last in a series of such attacks. Taketa, chief intelligence officer of the Japanese Imperial Army, suspects an underground anti-Japan group has planted a mole inside of the Wang government. Determined to catch the mole, he sends out a telegram with false information about an opportunity to assassinate a high-ranking officer. When it's apparent that the underground group knows its contents, he arrests the personnel who saw the telegram, bringing them to a closely guarded castle for interrogation. So one of these people is the mole, but who is it? This film is pretty old school in its focus on slow burn suspense, mind games between the characters, all of that over action. There's no action set pieces in this. But it kicks up the entertainment value with a slick production and two fantastic leading ladies. So the most important thing about The Message is that the Japanese intelligence officers choose to manipulate the mole suspects instead of going directly to physical torture. Because you're thinking, oh, one of these handful of people is the mole, let's just torture them all, right? But they try to justify why they don't do that in the film. They also try to justify why they don't just shoot them all. You know what I mean? Because in real life, I don't know, maybe they would just shoot them all. You're eventually going to get the mole anyway. You may as well sacrifice the other handful. But for the purposes of the film, I think they do a good job of maneuvering through that and justifying how they're going to try to find this mole. So yes, torture is initially avoided here. Because number one, the mole needs to find a way to communicate a message to their resistance from within this mansion. Because they're all trapped in this mansion, they're being interrogated, and, their allies are being set up for an ambush. So they have to get this message out, hence the title for the film, to warn their comrades. So the Japanese are just sitting there waiting for somebody to try it, and then they'll just catch them then. So there's that reason. And the second reason why they don't immediately start torturing or killing these people is that the suspects themselves, these 5 or 6 potential moles, during the interrogations will frame each other to get out of it. So that's also pretty interesting, because if you think about it, if you're being held in the mansion, right, and you're suspected of treason by the Japanese government during World War II, and those guys did some heinous things, and let's say you were innocent, it might be a good idea to frame someone else, even though you're innocent. Because the longer this goes on, the higher the chances that no one's making it out of this mansion alive. Eventually they're just going to give up and just shoot everybody, right? And then there's, what if you are the mole? Obviously, you want to direct attention to other suspects. So it's pretty interesting stuff. There's a lot of manipulation and mind games in this film, which I appreciated. Now, obviously, some violent measures are eventually implemented by the Japanese. There are a few torture scenes, but they're not particularly graphic. They do seem painful, though, and they do get the point across, that this is not something you want to be having done to you. Especially in a dramatic sense, because we get to know these characters a bit before that the crap really hits the fan. And also, they bring in this torture specialist, and he's, a good torture specialist character in a film is pretty creepy, and this dude's pretty creepy. But, don't worry about that aspect of the film. Any average viewer is going to be able to sit through this. The Message is a very classy film. You know what I mean? There's nothing gratuitous about this film at all. Zhou Xun and Bingbing are great in this. Zhou Xun she's arguably my favorite actress in the world. So it's always nice to cover one of her movies on this channel. And this movie would make a nice introduction to her, if you're unfamiliar. Bingbing has been relegated to side roles in big budget Hollywood films, primarily over the past handful of years. her filmography overall is kind of spotty, a real mixed bag in terms of overall quality of her films, which is a little frustrating because she's a very talented actress. She should have done a better job of picking her roles, I think, but I think she's getting paid well, at least. The Message, I think, is one of her best quality films, though. So again, another nice introduction to this actress is this film. So that's two great actresses you get in this. And whenever they're on screen together, the chemistry is great. They work great together. And then you have Zhang Hanyu, who is an actor who has a very nice screen presence. You may recognize him from some other like action-based films like Operation Mekong, The Taking of Tiger Mountain, or Assembly. And he has like this cool, badass quality about him. It makes you wanna keep watching what he's doing as well. He's got a lot of screen presence. So yeah, this has really solid performances and some pretty fantastic leads. Also, you get some pretty stylish period clothing, and the set designs are very good as well. So this is just, like I said, it's just a high quality, like spy suspense thriller film. And it's pretty interesting, pretty well written, I think, and very well acted and directed. So I strongly recommend The Message. It's currently available on Amazon streaming in the United States. And as always, we will see you next time.